right, Shalom. First and foremost, just as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Rakak Wadash, which is the Paleo Hebrew, the Lashon Kodash, the Holy Tongue, for the one true name of the Heavenly Father, the Ancient of Days, the Creator of all energy, being Yahweh, and that of the Messiah, whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus, being Yahushai. Those are the only names in which salvation may be obtained, whether you've been given the Spirit to receive that knowledge or not, according to the Scriptures, according to the law, and according to Acts chapter 4 and verse 12. I'd also like to give double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Grand Millstone, who have taught me this truth through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and a sincere peace, love, blessing, salutations unto all of those of you who are rooted in faith, who have received this calling and who are doing the best to make that calling of your election sure. All right? And the reason I say rooted in faith is because that's what's going to be needed in order to get through the troublesome times prophesied to take place come soon, man. To hit the whole world, and more in particularly America, man. Stuff's going to get bad out here in America. All right? And the only way for you to get by is to have faith, man. Is to have hope, to have belief and trust in Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. And how do we get that? By growing in faith, in hope, in understanding during this grace period that we've been given specifically for that, man. This is Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 15. We'll go to verse 12. It says, "And ye be not slothful, but followers of them who wrought faith and patience inherit the promises," right? Followers of those who what? Who have been patient, who have been faithful, who have did everything for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, making their bodies a living sacrifice, man. There's a reason why Jeremiah and all these prophets were complaining about their birth, man. Jeremiah said, "Cursed be the man who brought my father good tidings upon my birth." You see, we were born in a world which is not ours, man. A world that we were given a spirit that we cannot quench. We cannot go along to get along out here, man. And unfortunately, in this world, when you speak against it in the time of global deceit, speaking the truth becomes a crime. Speaking the truth becomes an act of terrorism, man. And that's what we've experienced. You see? And now we're approaching the time of what? Receiving the promises. All this hell we've been through, and we're finally approaching that time, man. So now, in order to inherit that promise, we must not be slothful, man, meaning lazy. Right? Which is easy to fall into that slothful state of mind out here, because Esau has you so damn busy and worked out of your head that anytime you get a moment, Jake wants to hit the snooze button and unwind, man. Which is fine, you could do that, but the bottom line is, you got to make sure that you're putting in this work, man. All right, well, make sure you're not being slothful when it comes to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, because it's easier said than done, man. It happens to us all, myself included. Right, you notice yourself start to get lazy. Hey, you got to make sure we're doing reading, we're doing watching videos, making videos. All right, but anyway, continuing on, it says verse 13, and that's why we have orders such as a video a day and whatnot, man. Which is an order that's been put out for the benefit of your own soul, man, for your own growth, for you to stay in the spirit throughout the day. If you're doing a video a day, then that means you are in the spirit every day. Verse 13, it says, "For when God made promise to Abraham, because he could swear by no greater, he swore by himself." Right, and that's why people say things like on God, right? Because there is no greater way you could swear, but they don't realize that you ain't supposed to be swearing on the Most High's name like that, man. You ain't supposed to be swearing on God's name like that. For we're nothing but a creation, man, a worm. We can't always keep our promises, but guess who can? the creator of all energy, and that's the very same creator that gave us a promise. So why the hell do you lack faith? We've been given a promise by somebody who cannot break their promises. Going on, it says, verse 14, saying, surely blessing I will bless thee, and multiply I will multiply thee. Imagine some person in the world gives you some promise like this. I'm gonna multiply you. Your seed's gonna be great. How the hell do you know this person's gonna keep their promise 5 generations down the road when you done forgot? You've been reborn. You have no idea. You're just coming out the womb a fresh baby. But this ain't no man that we're speaking about, man. This is the creator of man. The very same power that has never lied. That's why it says, well, I tell you the truth, I lie not. That's written both in the Old Testament and the New Testament, man. Going on, verse 13, it says, for when God, where was I? Salaki, verse 15. It says, and so, after he had patiently endured, he obtained the promise, right? So after Abraham endured patiently, that's when he obtained the promise, man. So we got to stir up our minds for the same walk of patience, for the same endurance of patience. Verse 16, it says, for men truly swear by the greater, and an oath of confirmation is to them to an end of all strife. Right? So us being these carnal creations, when there's a strife, an argument taking place, many times how to end all of that arguing and all of that strife is to make an oath with one another. And clearly, as we read, that's something that is able to make amends or to cause the strife to cease, man. So again, how much more the Heavenly Father, going on, verse 17, wherein God willingly, more abundantly, to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath. Let's look up that word, immutability. This is Hebrews 6 and 7. This is Hebrews chapter 6 and verse 7. Going into that word. What was that? 6 and 17. 6 and 17 is immutability. And this is, for those of you who don't know, this is the Strong's Concordance, which is same thing as the Blue Letter Bible, the dictionary that they use with it. It's not no ordinary dictionary, man. In fact, it goes into the root words, which is why you see the numbers next to the word, right? That's how they keep track of all these different root meanings of these words, because you have many words today, man, and many of them actually have different meanings, right? But the way we keep them separate to have a proper understanding of the context of what's being said, right, is these numbers that they use to organize it all, man. So anyway, going into the definition, it goes into the Greek word pronounced amatetheotos, if I'm saying that correctly. It says, as a negative particular particle and a derivative of unchangeable, unchangeability, immutability, right? So basically unchanging, wherein God willingly more abundantly to show unto the heirs of his promise the unchanging of his counsel. So just further solidifying the fact, right, that he's unchangeable, man. He's immutable. It says he confirmed it by an oath. He confirmed the fact that he is unchanging by an oath, man. The promise that he has made, he's confirmed that. by an oath. Verse 18, it says that by two immutable things, right, unchangeable things, in which it was impossible for God to lie, we made it a strong consolation, who have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us, right? For those of you who fled for refuge, what fled this world, fled Esau, fled his system, fled the beast, right? To lay hold on to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai for a hold and hope of for the hope that's set before us, man, for our kingdom, right? Verse 19, it says, which hope we have as an anchor of the soul, right? And what is an anchor used for, man? In fact, let's just type it in. Anchor, usually of metal, attached to a ship or a boat by a cable or chain and lowered to the seabed to hold the vessel in a particular place by the means of a fluke or pointed projection that digs into the bottom of the sea. So here you have an image, right? This gigantic anchor is used to hold the entire ship to the ground, man, to keep it from being tossed around by waves. All right, now this is likened unto what? The fact the fact that the Heavenly Father has given us a promise. That's basically the anchor, man. So we could take this, how they got the little words written right there, right? Ocean bed, anchor chain, anchor, right? Instead of anchor being written there, that could be the fact that the Heavenly Father is immutable, man. The Heavenly Father does not lie. So therefore, that is likened unto an anchor that we've been given, man. And the ship is you. And the sea and the oceans, the waves, that is the trials, the tribulation, the hardships, the reasons why Jeremiah, as I made mention of earlier, said, "Cursed be the man who brings good tidings to my, who brought good tidings to my father upon my birth," because of the waves that we've had to endure, man. And Lord willing, the Heavenly Father caused that anchor to sink deeper and deeper, digging into that earth, so that we will not be tossed around and our ship destroyed, and we end up way the hell off, stranded on some beach somewhere, man, talking about some weird breakdowns and doctrines, right? In other words, it says, both sure and steadfast, and which entereth in to that within the veil. Right? So we've been given that anchor, which is sure and steadfast, and which entereth into that within the veil, which is what, man? What was the veil? The veil is which is what separated the inner court of the temple of the Heavenly Father, man. Only the high priest was able to go into. Now, as you continue, right, it begins to talk about the order of Melchizedek, because through Yahushai, right, being the forerunner of our faith, through him, we're able to enter into that temple. We're able to reach the Heavenly Father, in other words, man. Right? And again, we've been given an anchor to do so, man. So because we've read that, let me go into the book of James, chapter 1, and verse 6. It says, "But let him ask nothing." Forgive me. Rereading it. James 1 and 6. "But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed." Right? Again, because the lack of an anchor, man. You're wavering, meaning that you're not rooted in faith. That anchor isn't embedded in the earth, man. So therefore, you're just like a stray ship. And anything that anybody says that sounds like it makes any little bit of sense is going to allow your ship to be tossed to a whole nother part of the ocean, man. This is why the scriptures tell you to look well unto your going, man. You fact check everything. Even the things that we say, these scriptures, the context of them, the root words that we pull up, man, do your own research. The scriptures say wisdom cometh by the opportunity of leisure. That's how you're going to end up causing that anchor to grow, and that's why we've been given this grace period. so that you could build the proper anchor to fit your vessel, man. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. All praises, honor, and glory be to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles at GMS Grand Millstone, and a sincere peace, love, blessing, salutations unto all of you hopeful and faithful members of the elect, doing the best to make the calling of your election sure. Lord willing, this is edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.